Good morning and welcome to the Museum of Cornish Life here in Helston. And this morning we are actually in our Victorian classroom. So to celebrate Helston Makes It, we have invited Martin Douglas here to talk about making guitars. So Martin, how did you get started?
Well, before I start on that, can I just say that I am a guitar maker, but the proper name for a guitar maker is a luthier, and it comes from the fact that years ago people who made lutes were called luthiers, so it's kind of developed.
Luthier, I have learned something this morning, of course, from lute.
Is it?
Fascinating. So you are a luthier?
I am, but I got into it when I retired from teaching. I've been a teacher for about 30 years, and I saw retirement coming along and knew that I wanted to do something that was both practical and creative, and probably something very different from teaching. So I did a short course after retiring. It was a 12-week course at the Totnes School of Guitar Making, and it was very excellent. Made a guitar there, and I got bitten by the bug, and I've been doing it ever since.
Amazing. So I'm standing behind this table with what looks to me like various bits of the guitar.
Yep.
So can you talk us through the process? How do you get started, and how do you turn something like this into a beautiful instrument?
Well, the first step really is to decide exactly what you want in terms of an instrument. All of the guitars I make are classical guitars, so they're acoustics without any electrics on them. They all have nylon strings, but there's a lot of difference between the exact models you can make. So you can make a classical guitar, flamenco guitar, or this one over here. And I've only done one like this. This is this one is designed for playing jazz on, and it's a kind of copy of one that was made in the States by a very famous luthier back in the 1980s. So I came across it in a magazine, a picture of it, loved the whole thing, loved the look of it, and I did a bit of research on the internet, got some plans, and based my design on the plans. There are one or two alterations in it, but basically that's what it was.
So obviously you say you got this one off the internet. How else do you come across designs for guitars and plans, I suppose?
Well, really, the design of classical or a flamenco guitar has been around for centuries, really, and it's a proven design, it's a proven shape, and I'm not going to mess around with it that much. But there's a lot you can do to the detail to make it unique and individual, and they're the sort of things that I talk about to my customers, most of whom commission a guitar for themselves. So we have conversations and discussions about what they want in terms of the type of wood, decoration, the size, to some extent the shape, and there's a lot of tiny details that go into making a guitar that's dead right for them and something that they're going to like and be able to play well.
I know when we were chatting earlier you referred to something that you call your Bible.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My wife bought me this book years ago, and it's a really fantastic book. It's called Making Master Guitars by a chap called Roy Courtnall, and in it he's examined and analysed, I think it's 10 famous instruments from the past, and so there are plans, there are measurements and ideas for different guitars in it. And I've used it over the years as a kind of reference book and a Bible in case I get stuck or there's something I need to clarify with myself. So it's full of bits of paper and notes that I put on over the years. So I can see
it's well used.
Yeah, it's been great really, and I'd be pretty much stuck without it.
So could you talk us through, now you've got your idea, you've spoken to the person who's commissioned you to make their instruments, so you know the type of wood you want and the veneers. Could you quickly talk, and I know it's a very long process, isn't it? How long does it take to make a guitar?
Well, I usually allow 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of swoosh that incredibly long process. Yep. Where do you start?
Okay, you can start in various places. The idea is that you make the elements separately before you bring them all all together to make the final instrument. So I usually start with the top. This is the bit that makes all the sound, and it's a really crucial piece of the instrument. So the top is made from spruce or cedar because it's light and it's stiff. And I make all my own rosettes. This is the decoration around the sound hole. And I'll just quickly talk about how I do that.
Yeah.
I start with strips of coloured wood.
Tiny little strips.
That I make into kind of planks. And then I glue those planks together to make a kind of log. And then on the end of the log you can see a design. This one, it's got an M on it because it was for somebody whose name began with M. And once you've got the log, you slice it up like slices of Battenberg cake, so the pattern runs through it. And then you can put these little tiles together to make a repeating pattern, which I've got there. So there's about 32 tiles in that. And obviously you have to curve them to fit into a circle.
Yeah, that's incredible. I would never have realised that beautiful flat design came from like a wood rock.
Yes, so each of my instruments has a unique design.
I see.
On the back of that, you put the bracing, which just strengthens it.
Yeah.
It resists the pull of the strings, but it also gives the guitar a sound character. So you can adjust the sound that the guitar makes by altering this pattern of bracing.
I see.
So that's the top.
Yep.
The neck is made from a piece of mahogany, and it's a really nice part of the guitar to make because there's a lot of carving involved, so you have to use chisels and rasps to shape it and to get a really kind of elegant shape to this bit. It's called a heel.
Yeah.
And also to get a nice headstock.
And I'm assuming that all of this is hand carved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what takes the time. I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the slots there are where the sides go in.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I see.
so I've just started doing the sides for this one. This one is already bent. It needs a little bit of adjusting.
Yeah.
But I do it by using this thing. So when I plug it in, it gets hot, and then when it is sufficiently hot, I brush some water onto the part of the wood that needs bending, and I hold it against the heat, and the steam softens the wood, and I can just ease it around into the shape.
And what kind of wood is that?
Okay, it's a wood I haven't used before. It's an African wood, hardwood called Bubinga. So
Wow.
I don't know what it'll be like.
Right.
It's a kind of experiment.
Okay. And do different woods produce different sound qualities?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about the tops, spruce is supposed to give kind of slightly brighter, zingier sound. It takes a while to develop its full acoustic potential.
Okay.
The other one you can use is cedar, which gives a warmer, mellower tone. And it's really down to a matter of taste as to which one you choose. Yeah. But they're both good to work with. So.
Okay. Well, I will divulge a little secret now in that I used to be a classical guitarist many moons ago. So, if I take up classical guitar again, I might well, if I save up my pennies, come and ask you to make me a bespoke guitar, because having seen how you go through the process and how individual it can be, I think that would be really exciting. So thank you so much for sharing your craft and your skill with us this morning.
Okay, it's been a
And
pleasure.
hopefully we've inspired other people to come and talk to you and maybe commission their own instrument one day.
Well, that would be great. Can I just say that my workshop, and you can find where I am on my website, my workshop is open pretty much every day.
Okay.
And I welcome visitors, so if you want to come and have a look around
And
and
see
chat,
what we do.
then that would be great.
Thank you ever so much, Martin, and thank you for joining us here at the Museum of Cornish Life.
Okay.